Okay, guys, I'm sorry. We had a little argument here right under my feet, and the dogs are separated now, and I hope I can get some people on. That's what life is like, living with dogs and doing live videos. So I apologize for the interruption. Maybe my connection will be better now. I don't know, but definitely apologize. So we're going to be doing this text box. So let me get back to that. So here is my my label that I'm going to work with, and here's my text. And if I want to change the font, I'm going to use this drop down box, and then I can search through this drop down box. Now, one of the things that they've added recently is called kerning. Kerning is allows the letters to come together, like especially with cursive where there might be letters that are connected. And sometimes you might be looking for a font that is not kerned. So if you want to see just kerned fonts, it automatically defaults right up here to only kerned fonts. And so if you want to see all including kerned but non-kerned font, you would take this off like this, and it would show you even more fonts, okay? Also up here, you've got all system and Cricut. Now, if you have downloaded a font from either a free site or you paid for it, so like there are a couple of free sites that you can get fonts. Personally, I don't go there that often simply because I think it's overwhelming to me to have all the fonts as an access customer. I mean, it's like 500 fonts just from Cricut. But if you want to add a font from a free site, it's super easy to do. Kerning right now does not work on the iPad. I have heard that kerning may come in the future. All right. It may come in the future, but it right now does not work on the, well, actually, Lola's in my bedroom because she was like frothing at the mouth. Okay, I'll show you that, Marcia. We'll go back to that. So yeah, they're separated. Teddy Bear doesn't get involved. He's like all about food. But you know, Lola and Benji have something, have something going on. Anyway, so to just back up, because I know there's a lot of confusion here. So I got these shapes by going to images. Now there is over here something called shapes, and you see you have the basic shapes, but I wanted something like scalloped. So I went to image and I typed in the word shape. If I wanted to type in scalloped, I could also do that. Let's see what happens when I type in scalloped. So it's not a shape altogether, but I look at all of these scalloped edges, and so then I would find it and pull it right into my canvas, and then I can rotate it if I want to rotate it. So that's how I found those shapes. So you'd be hard pressed not to find something like that in Design Space, okay? So then I added a text box simply by clicking on this T. And when I clicked on the T, look down here, I have this blue box and it says add text here. So I can just do, if I want to do my name or something like that, whatever you want the text to appear, once you hit return, that will appear on your screen. So if you want to change the text that you've already made, you can do it through a number of ways. If you want to change the actual font, you're going to the pull down box here. can see all the fonts. If you just want to see what's on your system, you can click on that. If you just want to see Cricut fonts, you can click on that. And you can also turn kerning on and off and add filters. So if you just want to see your fonts, just my fonts, okay, you would click on that. And you would see, I just want to see my fonts. So these are fonts that I've added or that I've purchased from Cricut directly. And so they're not just access fonts, okay? Filters, by the way, you have to clear them if you put them in there. So you do have to clear them. So when you're in this, you can just keep scrolling. And unfortunately, even though I did ask them to if we couldn't add a favorite, because I think that would be really helpful. You have to kind of remember the name that you used. And so you would just pick one. And like this one here says Future LT Book. It's an access font, or it's $4.99. Okay. Now, what's interesting here, so there's what that looks like, okay? What's interesting here is that you can pick any font, and even if it's like a double layer font, you can use it, because we're going to flatten it totally, okay? So let's pick something that has, like, it's a little more complex. The single layer fonts are great, but sometimes you can find something that's a little bit more fancy kind of thing. Oh, I just saw one. Okay, I just saw one, but I'd like to show you that, but don't know if that's going to work. Anyway, so that's picking a font. And as you pick them, that changes your text on your canvas, okay? If you want to actually, maybe I spelled my name wrong, or I spelled what I want to have in there wrong, then you would actually click on that text box twice, and then you can come here and make whatever changes you want. So for instance, I wanted to make my name here. I just click twice, and here's my text box, okay? And then I can make any change I want. If I want to change my name spelling, which I don't, but this is how you would do it, okay? So at this point, you have a couple of other options that you can use with text. You can change size, you can change the style, letter spacing, line spacing, and alignment. You can also separate by lines, but let's do some of the easy ones. So here's our Handmade with Love, and say we've already picked out, let's just pick out something a little cuter, I think. Let's try this. So here's Handmade with Love in Rennie Macintosh. There we go. And it's kind of cute, right? But it's not centered, and look how big the lines are in between. So let's first center it so we can have a look and see. And we're going to go up to alignment here and choose center, like this. Okay, now it's really still big, and I can use these arrows to sort of work with my text. However, and you can also unlock here and sort of make it like this if you wanted to. But there is another option, and that is advanced over here, where it says ungroup to letters or ungroup to lines. Let's ungroup to lines so that you can see what that means. When you ungroup to lines, you can have 3 separate lines here. So I can then move it where I want it to be, the text. And if I want them really close together, I can do that. Or if I want them far apart, or even if I want to make it look like this. However, you need to know that kind of when you do that, you lose some of the privileges that you have about correcting the text, and it's a little bit difficult to do that, but you might decide, hey, it's worth it, and that's what I'm going to do. So here you go, Handmade with Love, and that looks really cute. So what I'm going to do, let's say we take that Handmade with Love, and I'm going to select all 3 pieces, and I am going to weld them. So welding them makes them not movable like we had, and we can have a look here. So here we go. Now, we're going to do a print then cut. So we're going to talk about this little scalloped edge in a second, but let's put that aside, okay? And let's talk about the actual shape. So the shape here can be any color we want it to be. And to change the color, you're going to come up here and choose this square. And there are some colors here. And if you wanted to do an advanced color, you can also do that by choosing or typing in the color that you want. If you know the color number, you can do that, or you can switch it to like look at this, is a nice mauve-y color. Once you choose that on the rainbow, so let's choose the blue. Once you choose it on the rainbow, you can then move it around and get the perfect shade of periwinkle or whatever color this is. And decide what you want to do. So there you can do that. Now, if you want to put a pattern underneath it, you're going to go up here to operation. And rather than go to that little square, we're going to change it to a print then cut element by choosing standard. Okay. And then when we do that, we press this little color box again, and we're going to choose on the drop down patterned. Now, this part of Design Space doesn't work super great, but it does work, which is good, you know. So you may have a little bit of trouble with it. It's sort of on the redesign list. So it doesn't work super great, but you can actually add patterns. So here are some patterns that I added personally, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I can choose one of the patterns that I added. So this one is kind of like, ooh, look at that. It's really colorful and it looks really cool. So I can have some really, really beautiful patterns for my labels, okay? So this is how you would add a pattern. So you'd go over here to upload. And normally we go here to upload images, but we're actually going to look over here to upload pattern. You can buy patterns, you can find patterns. They're often called digital paper. So when you're looking, you can go like in Google and type in free digital paper. Or if you want to go to say, Etsy, you can buy them pretty cheaply, usually like $1 or something like that for one pattern. So I did, let me see if I have them here or if I put them in a different place, but I did put my patterns somewhere away. But so you would just navigate kind of like you do your images, your SVGs that you've downloaded, okay? But let's see here. I'm going to go to my all SVGs. I'm not at my best right now, and I apologize, but it always gets me kind of my adrenaline when the dogs act up, so I apologize. Okay, so here are all my SVG files, and I do also have some patterned files here. So if I can find it, here we go. This one's called Frosty Paper. So this is like a whole bunch of different patterns that I can use. So let's say I like, I don't know, this one because I love that color, or this one because I love the pattern. So I can then hit open, and it will show me the pattern. So I love polka dots, so I really love that. And I can go up here, just like when you upload an SVG or an image, you can go up here and name it, rename it, and you can also put it in a color category if you want. So here we go, put it in a color category, and then hit upload. Now, once you upload, this is where it gets a little weird, is that it doesn't appear in your uploaded images, but it appears in that pattern. So these are my uploaded images, right? You don't see it, so you're not really sure that it worked. But if you kind of came back here and you wanted to change this pattern, you would go up here again. It's still set for print, then cut, click on there to patterns, and the most recent pattern that you did will appear at the top of the screen. So hopefully by clicking on this, I will get my polka dot. Nope, it's a different one, but let's try a different one. Let's see. I see a polka dot down here. Maybe it's that. It usually appears at the top. Nope. Okay. So with digital papers, there's a little bit of work that you have to do because sometimes it comes in, there it is. So it comes in sometimes in, I'm not sure if you can see it, but sometimes it comes in with very angular pieces to it. So let's look over here at this one because I noticed it. See here, it's not kind of set up correctly. So when you print it, you're going to see that line there. So if you want to edit the pattern that you just uploaded, you would just simply go here to edit pattern. And here you can do things like change the scale or move those lines away. So you can do that using this sort of thing where you can change the scale. So make it bigger or smaller. There's smaller. And there's kind of where it was. So you can do that. And then you can do things like rotate vertical and horizontal. And that's what's going to help you with those lines. Okay. But this is kind of an art form. It's not really a science, and you just sort of have to get used to how this works. But you can rotate and do things like this. Okay. But you have to really spend some time with it and make it your own. If you don't want a pattern, you just want to stick to the colors, then go over here and change your oval to a cut. This is a cut. So just hit cut, and you can change the color from here and do whatever you like. So there you go. So there's my oval. But I want to use this text, and my oval is kind of too big for that. So I am going to reshape my oval so that it's proportionate with my text. So here we go. This is starting to look like the way that I want it to. So what I'm going to do is I am going to group this together and then flatten it. So I'm going to collect both of those and hit group. And then I'm going to come down here, right down here on the bottom, and it says flatten. So what flatten does is it takes an image that has multiple layers and squishes them all into one layer. That's the easiest way to explain it so that it can be printed. So if you have this here is 2 layers, right? It's the background layer and then my writing layer or my text layer. So I want to squish this down so that it prints as one image. As you know, if you were to just cut them, they would come on separate mats. So this is how we would do it. All right. So we're going to hit that flatten button, and you'll notice it sort of changes. It doesn't look quite the way, but it looks good. And then I can sort of start figuring out how many of these I want to put on so I want to make these handmade labels. And so I'm going to get rid of these little things. And this one here I'm going to keep, so I'm going to just hide it. So I want to make these, but I don't want them too big. I needed it to be big so I could see the screen, but I want to make them smaller, and I want to be able to fit a lot on the sheet. So here is our sheet that I want, and I want to make maximum use of my sheet, but I want to have the same image duplicated over and over and over again. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the size of this. I really think something that's small, like maybe less than 1.5 inches, is a good thing. And I can do changes like this, or I can come up here to the width and I can put in, let's say, 1.5. Now I know that looks small. So I'm making it bigger on my screen only, and you can do that also on your iPad to, if that's important to you, okay? So or if you need to see something bigger. So I've made this bigger, but I haven't changed the proportion of my label. I want to have it be 1.5 inches wide and less than 1 inch high, or I can change it to whatever I want it to be. Let's try this, 1.2 by 0.68. Now when I hit make it, here is I don't know why I'm getting this loading project message. It'll go away in a second. So here is what I got. Now when you do print and cut, you always get this square black box around it. Now admittedly, if I were just going to cut out one of these, this would be a colossal waste of my sticker paper, which costs money. So what I'd rather do is add images here, as many as I possibly can. So just so that you know, right now the print and cut area is not quite 8.5 by 11. Okay. It's something it's like 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. And you cannot go beyond that size. Okay. But you can add. So here I can do something like and I'm going to add 50 of these and see how they fit. This is 50 of my labels, and maybe I might even be able to get another 5 here. So let me change it to 55. So yes, that worked. However, if I wanted to push it and try to do, 57, it does work. So I can keep pushing it so I'm going to do it 65. Now I have done 65, but you see on my second page, I have extra. So I don't want to do that. I think what I want to do is just go back and do 60 of those, and those are going to fit and maximize the use. So you will have some waste here, but not a whole lot. So now at this point, you're going to want to print it on your printer. An inkjet printer is fine. It doesn't matter kind of what printer or whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw a question when you're clicking on what are you clicking on to do that? It's out of screen. Apologize. Okay, so what I was clicking on is here at project copies. So I can switch this all around whenever I want. If I want to try 45, I can see how the box actually shrinks and gets bigger by adding in. And we can find the maximum that we want to do, which was 60, before it spills into another page. Okay? So at this point, we're going to go and print it. We've had a number of conversations about printing. I will tell you, there is one product from Cricut that I do not like, and that is their sticker paper. I find it's too thick. I can't feed it through my printer. So I have found that this paper, which I get from onlinelabels.com, I'm not like representative of them. I just find that this is a really cost-effective way, and they work really well. So it's onlinelabels.com, and this is the actual label that I buy, OL177WX. This is a standard white matte 8.5 by 11 inch label. It's one label on a sheet. It goes into the printer, and you actually put it in my printer, you put it upside down, and then when you're ready to print, you can go send to printer, and I'm going to choose my HP Envy because I have several other printers here. I'm going to choose my HP Envy, and I'm going to add the bleed. Now, bleed is just like a little like border around your image so that when you cut it out, you don't see white. That's what bleed is. If you don't like that effect, you can turn it off. If you also want to make some changes on your actual printer, you would just click this button, which is a toggle switch. And then when you hit print, you will get a dialog box from your printer, okay, which is this. You're used to seeing that. And from here, you can change things such as the quality of the printing. If you want it to be black and white, you could do that. And so I have it set for best because I want these to look really good, and they're small, so I want the color to be vibrant, that sort of thing. And then I hit print. So it's going to print on my printer over here, which is on the left. So you have to give it a minute to yep, you can buy 100 sheets of them. Isn't that great? And I think it's like $20 for the matte version. And if you sign up for their newsletter or something, you get a, I think your first order, you get like 10 or 20% off. And they have all kinds of labels. So if you ever need a label, I know Avery has a lot, but these guys have been in business a long time, and they have all different kinds, all kinds of finishes, including waterproof and made out of vinyl and stuff like that. So there you go. So I'm waiting for, and I can hear my printer printing. So what I'm going to do is once it's finished printing, I'm going to take it off my printer. Here it is. It's upside down, but there are my stickers, and you notice there's my square all around it. So you need this square on here, which is why you want to print on a light color. White especially works well. But if you ever have a problem where it didn't print your square, you can take a Sharpie marker and sort of fill it in, because the square is important. The square is how the sensors in your machine or on your machine are able to determine how to cut these out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to select the material. For these, I usually go to browse all materials, and then I choose the category paper. And this is for me and how it works. I choose printable sticker, where is it? Not printable sticker paper. It's sticker paper removable, which is right here. Sticker paper removable, and I hit done. Now I'm going to move you so you can see what's going to go on here. But you see, that's how I have it set up. Now here's my Cricut. I have put the I have blood on my hands. Somebody was bleeding a little bit. Sorry. So I've put it on my mat. So this corner is going up in the corner, and I am going to put this in my machine. And what you'll see when we get it going is you will see a little light that comes off the machine. So first it has to do the measuring and all of that. So when you're ready to go, you'll have this blinking light right here. So you hit that blinking light, and you'll notice, keep an eye on the carriage underneath. You will see a little light that comes on, and the machine's actually, there it is. You can't always see it, but what it's doing is it's measuring and taking all measurements for this project so that it can cut out properly. Now, there is something, if you want to improve your accuracy of this cutout, you can calibrate it. So if you have a brand new machine, you might be asked to calibrate it, or you might want to calibrate it yourself. I can go over where you can do the calibration, but it's not on this screen. So after it's done all four corners of our square of our box, it's going to then start cutting out. Remember, we have a scalloped edge, so it's going to do the scallop edge, and it will take quite a while for the scalloped edge to cut all of those out. So we don't have to sit and wait for that. To do that, I can just move down here and just show you what my end result was. So the end result for this was this printed on my sticker paper, and then there is this yes, thank you, Shirley. So when you are putting the sheet on the mat, make sure you're putting it the right side that you print, the way that you printed it. Now, you really won't go wrong if you're using letters, because it will show up right side up. But sometimes you get messed up and you put it on wrong. And then what happens is it cuts out as if you've put that on the right way. So an example being, I did a lot of butterflies. Here's a butterfly that I did. And so you can make your own stickers. And here's a butterfly I did. But I had all different kinds of butterflies, and I didn't know which way was up. So I put it on my mat upside down, and then it cut out as if it were this way. So it's kind of a little tricky that way. We do want to have it so that's the way that it appears. Okay. So it's going to, can you hear it? It's cutting out, and it's going to cut out all of the space around my paper. Now, just a little comment about stickers, because I know stickers are really big. You can do all kinds of stickers on this using print then cut. I have done all different kinds, including the kawaii and little sayings and all of that. So this is the same process that you would use. And what you want to consider is, do you want to have stickers that are individually cut, or do you want them all on a sheet? To be honest, I like them having them on the sheet. When they're individually cut, they get all over the place for me, and so I don't like to do that. Now, if you decided, hey, I'm going to start an Etsy shop and I'm going to make my own stickers, and you wanted to sell them individually, some people are selling them $3, $4, and $5, then you might want it to cut so that it cuts all the way through, including on the backing. To do that, you need to play around with your cut settings, which again, mine was, I used the sticker paper removable so that it did just a kiss cut, which means it just cuts the top layer and not the bottom layer. So here you go. There is our sticker, and it's sticky on this side, and I took it and I put it on the back so I can find all the little projects that I did. Here's one that I did, and I want to just put it on the back here like that. So maybe if I sold this, they'd know this was a handmade item. It's a really cute addition to your stuff. If you want it to have the name of your company, or you just change the text up. So if I wanted to start an Etsy shop for Miss Rita to the Rescue or Cricut Chat, I would just Handmade by Miss Rita at Cricut Chat or something. I would just change the text to be whatever. Now, this is the same process that you'd use to make return address labels or closures for your envelopes. And you can take any of the images from Design Space and use them for your stickers. And remember when we were doing printables, we were looking for images that are printables. There are a lot of printables available in Design Space that I just want to show you. I'm going to open a new window here and kind of take you up here and see if this works. I hope that it works. Okay, here we go. So I'm opening a new window, and by the way, I'm on a Mac, so right up here what I did was File, New Window, okay? So I'm going to start a new project while my other project is cutting. And I'm going to go to Images, and I am going to I'm going to look for printables. Now, there is one that I really like. Oh, oops. I'm going to go to all images. I'm going to go to image sets, and then I'm going to type printable. Okay. So we did this when we did sublimation, but I just kind of want to point it out to you again. So here are all of these images, and you can use all of them to make stickers. So for example, let's say you're Irish and you want to make some return address labels that have a pot of gold. You could grab that and bring it in and put it on your label or make a sticker out of it, really. So I'm going to go to these Anna's Holiday Luster printables because these make really good stickers. So I'm going to go in here. They're all like shades of gray that and gold that look like they're gray and gold. So I would just select a few of these. I love this Merry Christmas and this Peace on Earth. And these would make great envelope closures, right? So I'm going to just, may your holidays be, happy holidays, Christmas greetings. These are all really good envelope closures. Okay, so I'm going to grab them and I'm going to insert them into my canvas. Okay, it takes a little while. It takes a while for it to, yeah, you know, and that's a good idea. What Anna Maria is saying is sometimes you want to do a stamp. Like I just believe in always like personalizing and your work. And so most of the time, people will stamp something on the back. But to be honest, you know, then you have to take out your stamps and your ink pads and do that. So this is a very easy way to get organized and just keep these sort of hanging around. And then when you're done, you can just put your little stamp or your little sticker on that instead of coming out with your ink pads and your stamp, right? And then it, you know, sometimes you have to pay a lot of money for a stamp itself. Okay, so these I'm going to make into envelope stickers, but they come in and they're really rather large. I don't want these enormous envelope stickers, so I am going to resize them. These are already print then cut. You can see up here it says print then cut, and I am going to resize them to about, like, I think less than 2 inches, and that way I can probably get quite a few of them on my sheet. Okay. Now here's a little trick that I've taught people that you might be interested in, and that is if you really want to maximize your paper, your sticker paper, what you will do is you will insert a square shape. And then you're going to make this shape, unlock it, and you're going to change the width to 6.75 and then the height to 9.25. Okay, so this is if you have all different shapes that you want to do a print then cut. Okay, you're going to move this to the back by hitting arrange, send to the back, and this is just for your vision. Okay, so you can see. So I want to get all of these, and maybe I even want to duplicate some of them, but I want them all to print on the same piece of paper. So I might the same piece of sticker paper. So let me just duplicate a few of these so that I can see how many I can get on one sheet. So duplicate all of these, and then I can just start placing them inside of that box, well, however way I want to. And you can, by the way, turn them around like this if that's going to work for you. That's fine. So look, I've got double, except for this one. This one didn't double, but I could make it smaller like this. Maybe this is still a little too large. Maybe they're all a little too large, and I could sort of resize them a little bit, just like this, and then I can get this one in here. Okay, so once I got all of these images, I would take this away. Take this away. Just move it over. You can actually delete it or hide it. I'll just hide mine right here. And then don't move these. And then we're going to select them all by creating a box around them. And we're going to attach them. When we attach them, they're going to move as a box. So when we go to print them, when we do make it, oops, it's saying it's not compatible because it's actually slightly bigger than what I need it to be. Maybe I actually did. Yeah, it is. It's slightly bigger. You see up here, the width is 6.864 by 9.36. So that's ever so slightly bigger than what I need. So I'm just going to sort of, I don't know, nudge it until it's below those variables, which was 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. Okay, so now it's available, and if we hit make it, you'll see that it takes up that whole space. In fact, I probably could have fit a couple more in there. And so this is when you'd go back and continue to, you would detach it, and then maybe you would make a couple more of these, duplicate, and then that's when your square will come back, and you can sort of get the feeling of like, how many more can I fit on here? And this way you can get the most out of your sticker paper. Does this make sense? Is this working for people, or is it too advanced? I don't know, but I thought that I would just show you this is how you would do with a printable and make stickers. By the way, you know, if you duplicate these, you can change the size of them if you want. You can make some bigger and some smaller, whatever you want. The only thing that you don't want to do is you don't want them to overlap, or that will cause a problem when you're doing the cutting out. Okay, so here I go. I added a few more stickers, and I'm sort of moving these all around so that I can get the most out of my sticker paper. And here you go. So now I've got, instead of just having the original 5 or 6 that I picked out, I have duplicates on all of them. And in fact, I even made a smaller Happy Holidays, maybe for a smaller card or something like that. Then I would take this square away, hide it, grab all of these and hit attach, and check and make sure that you don't have, which I do, you might just need to nudge the size just ever so slightly, and then there goes your caution. And then when you hit make it, you're going to see this is going to be what's going to print out. Okay, so I know I'm a little crazy about waste because I don't know, I just am. But if you want to really get the most out of your materials, sometimes you have to do these sort of moving around and what have you, instead of just taking what the system puts on there. So for example, let's come back here and we will do detach. Okay, and then hit make it. So let's see what happens. Yeah, it's now appearing, all of those labels that we did and we all got on one sheet are now all on two sheets. So if you want to save, your material, you would use this project. If it's not important to you, then don't use this project idea. Okay, so our printout has ended, our cutout has ended, and here it is. I'm just going to take it off of my mat. And then I'm going to start here. You don't have to keep that on there. If you want, you could. I don't see why not, but I just sort of remove the top part and it takes away that sticker. I am notorious for not being able to get a sticker started, so I use my weeding tool. Here we go. Weeding tool. And then I'm just going to peel it off like this because it's a sticker, right? And in the end, I will have, what did we say? 60 images or 60 of these cute little, the same thing for the next 60 projects that I make so that I can put them on the back of my, or wherever, put them somewhere on my creations so everybody can know that this was a handmade project. Obviously, this is a sticker, so when you're removing it, just make sure that you're, sometimes it's just not cut out exactly. So you just have to put your finger on there to sort of push them down. But there you go. 60 handmade with love stickers that you made all by yourself. And they're stickers. They work just like stickers. Just sort of peel them off like that. And there you go. And look at how intricately it cut with that beautiful scalloped edge. Same thing with these other ones that I did. And I'll give you this file so that you can kind of see, and we'll actually keep both of these and send them to you so you can kind of see. Great way to organize your stuff. Or if, let's say, you have, you're moving, or I don't know, like you want to label your stuff. This is a great way to use your Maker or your Explore to create stickers that for whatever need you need. I love this technique, and I hope you love it too. Let's see. That's going to do it for me today. I so apologize earlier. We had a little scuffle, and so, with the dog, so I had to start over. They just got really too excited. I wanted to tell you that I am going to be doing this tomorrow. This is, I don't know if anybody remembers, but the 2020 calendar every year they do a unique calendar, and it's free in Design Space. So this is actually the 2020 calendar. I loved it. It came in all 12 months, and it's very layered, and I did it in paper. I also did it in a print and cut, and I just loved it. But I asked, and they were moving on, so they weren't able to do the same thing over or a similar thing over. So I decided that I was going to redo them, but change because the September 2020, it actually started on Tuesday. So I had to go in, and I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow. And we're going to put together, it's actually going to be a little larger than this. The rest of the year, I'm going to have September, October, November, and December for you. We'll put them all together, and you can print them out, because I'm always looking for, a new calendar by this time of the year. And so we can also go further on Okay, go further on. If we wanted to bring it into 2022, we could do that as well, because I've learned how to sort of adjust them for that. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And then that will bring us to Thursday. Friday, we're going to be doing our freebie Friday, and then Saturday, the pumpkins. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming today. Appreciate you putting up with me. I get a little frazzled when the dogs act crazy, so I'm feeling a little stressed out, but I appreciate that you're with me thick and thin. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and do all of that on YouTube. And I really appreciate it. It does help with our subscription, the number of subscribers and everything. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Get some crafting in.